I think the whole issue is really a very sad one because it ought to obviously be all about the charity and the charity doing well. And I'm sure that Prince Harry would want that. I mean, he would, he founded the thing in 2006. He's always been very, very involved with it. And, he's done a good job in the past. So it's just very sad that, and understandable in a way, because, of course, having gone into his new life in America, he's a long way away from Africa, and he simply can't probably do as much for them as they would have wished. And of course, the whole new status and all the sort of commercial things that they're doing and seeking to reinvent themselves the whole time, all these different issues are probably rather counterproductive from the point of view of doing good work for the charity. So the accusation that that he's lost interest, um, you ask, is it damaging? Well, yes, it is. It's most unfortunate, the whole thing, really, because there are two things about Prince Harry. I mean, he was trained to do exactly that sort of work and does it very well. And the fact that he's sort of isolated from it just means that he's leading a rather pointless existence. The other members of the royal family, who all do a lot of work for their regiments and their charities, and indeed and generally for the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, they're all sort of putting things into life, and they're sort of going about their duties. They have a good backup team. They have, very organised lives. And when, of course, Harry and Meghan set off on their own, they wanted to be completely independent of all that. So in a sense, they go into a sort of wilderness. And as we've seen, it is very commercial. It's all to do with Netflix deals and book deals and programs and podcasts and cooking programs and so forth. And that's very different. That's very different from being a member of the royal family. And so I think it has been said about the charity before, that in a sense, he, having done a fantastic job in founding it and getting it off the ground, now he's probably something of a liability, because even if he does go over there and do something, the questions are always going to be sort of, what's Meghan up to, and, all the usual things that everybody always asks when they discuss the Sussexes. Prince Harry is very good at doing that sort of work. That's what he was trained for. That's where his skill lies. And Sentebale now being, I mean, he has said until further notice, so it's not impossible that he'll still go on being involved. But the only other thing he's involved with is with the Invictus Games, in which again he was very good at everything he's done with that. And if he loses that as well, then he's completely cut off from everything he was trained for, which is a great shame. It's a great loss of usefulness. And going back to the which in a way sort of encompasses what you were asking, the initial work that they were given when the Queen offered them the whole of the Commonwealth to explore, and they began to do that, and began to do it very well, actually. Um, it's such a pity that they couldn't have worked within the system and done a lot of good for others. And I think in the long run, we would have respected them a great deal more, and more good would have come out of it. But when they take this different route, it's going into the unknown, and it's proved obviously to be very difficult because they lead an expensive lifestyle, and that has to be funded. The fact is that they're in America, which is a very long way away, and presumably she has other plans for him and doing things. So, and naturally, yes, I suspect probably that is the case, that you know either she wanted him doing other things, or he didn't have the time to get there, or it was too far away. I mean, you can't have it both ways. If he was in Europe, um, then he could probably have nipped over there quite a lot much more easily, and it would have been a good thing. But they're busy doing different things now, so it's a tricky one, because, as I say, you can't really have it both ways. The Queen and her advisors made it absolutely clear when they left, you're either in or out. And they chose to be out, and they thought they could make a go of it. And I think to begin with, they probably did. They certainly attract a lot of publicity even now. But now, of course, it's not as constructive as it was at the beginning. It's usually rather, we're all rather sort of negative about what they're up to, I think. I don't think they want to come back, but if anything goes wrong and he does come back, I think we must all be very nice to him if possible, and reintegrate him. I think the king would has left the door wide open for him, but there's an issue there too because I think I'm right in saying that Prince Harry has sort of said that the royal family owe him an apology. Well, they don't. It's the other way round, and so all these stories about how he doesn't know how his father is. Well, it's up to him to make the effort. I mean, the poor king is working away on lots of other things, and I think he's left the door open. But it's up to his son to make the effort. And we don't know, of course, what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe there is a lot of talk behind the scenes, but I suspect probably not. And again, that's very sad. What I think really is that it's this cutting off of him from the things that he's really good at and for which he was trained. And that means to say that it's a sad loss for everybody because he was very good at it, and he were I've seen him going around playing cricket with children in the Commonwealth countries and things. He's very good at all that. And I think probably there must be a little bit of him which probably rather misses all that because, that's playing to his skills. Whereas he's in uncharted waters. I don't think it's sort of as you say, the last nail in the coffin or anything like that. I think it's just another thing which has gone wrong. And it seems to me at the moment that quite a lot of things are going wrong. They keep trying to do new things and they don't always succeed. But, who knows? Maybe she'll make a fortune out of selling all her products and things. She has a lot of followers, and that's a different world. That the world of people following people and buying all their products and things. That's a whole new game. So maybe that works for them. I don't know, but it seems rather pointless to me.